All right. Good morning, traders. Can everybody hear me okay? Let's do a quick sound check. Guess if I can go find the chat box or something. There we go. Aye, aye, Captain. Thanks, Lee. Awesome. How's everybody this morning? Hopefully you're all doing well, I hope. Listening to Pal. Well, at least most of us are doing well. Well, I'm excited to trade. Always excited to trade. Love to trade. So we'll go ahead and jump right in. Again, just to kind of put things into perspective, this is just a trading session where, um, you know, I'll be trading, no differently than I would trade any other trading session on my own. So if I ever get into a situation, I'll try to explain everything that I'm doing. But if there's ever a situation where I'm in a little bit of a, you know, tense moment or something like that, I'm going to tend to favor the trading side of it than the explanation side, so I don't miss out on any moves or any kind of opportunities. I think I'm going to leave the 0.25 lot size on 505. I think I'll leave that on for the moment. And see what we can do. A little bit of a rally coming out of the Euro USD this morning. So, I'm looking at the JPY. Sorry. A little bit of a rally off the JPY this morning. Now let's go look at the Euro. Clean off these charts. And a little bit of a pullback right now. A big rally, 2 minute, some 2 minute COUS bars back over here, and then we're just kind of pulling back all the way. Most likely we'll start putting trades on when it gets back to this area, if it does. Maybe I'll start maybe just a little bit sooner. See if I can get those targets underneath that previous support. Just want to get those targets underneath that line there. Okay, just kind of starting to get a sense as to how the market's moving. I already went through and looked at the daily earlier. But we can take a look at that real quick. Just kind of stuck in that we haven't really broken out, didn't break out yesterday, haven't really broken out today. So the question is the same as it was earlier in the week. Is this going to be a breakout day, or is it going to be a reversal day? The big tail on the bottom of this market is actually a pretty bullish sign on that daily chart. And then on the hourlies, a pull all the way back. Now that pull back a little deeper than I would ever want it to be. So on that pullback, that's a little deeper. And so that puts this rally at risk unless it's an elevator or a trampoline move, trampoline where it goes down to go up. So we'll keep an eye on these tops up in here. So, all right, now we'll get back down to the minute chart, and we're going to primarily be trading the long side. Powell will create movement. It'll create volatility. So we'll see if it's long lasting or if it's just momentary. Okay, let's see, a pull back down, a little rally and a pull back down. I might see about a little scalp to the downside here. Not real confident in this little scalp trade. That line holds, and I'll quickly take those off in reverse position. So it's kind of holding right here. Wicks on the underside of that. 14 seconds left. So the moment of truth here. Does it hold the line? It's kind of stuck between a turning point and the little support and support. So there's the turning point and support underneath it. There we go. Right now, it looks like it should it should have a little bit of a pop to the upside. So these trades may not work out, and I might just hedge a little bit less. If I can get them, if I can get that hedge on a little bit less than that, with the target a little bit less than that. Threading a needle here. Picked up those targets. And to pop or not to pop. That little bit of an edge to the upside here. 27 seconds, so it's holding back at the right time. So give it a second longer. Now's the time when it should be making that move. Right in here anytime. We'll see if those buyers push. There they go, right in the last seconds. So now we should see some follow through. No follow through yet, but a test of the turn or a test of the break. So the break and then it tests it. I always look for that test. So such a common thing to see. I always look for that test. My little scalp trades are not doing so good. That's why I didn't go in very heavy, because I didn't want to fight that. See if I can get a little bit of a little headwind on the bullish rally. So I'm going to throw a couple more shorts on right here. Not fully expecting it to get down here, but even a little move back down into that pre-turn area. The slow build out of a turn is always a problem, right? When you get the turn and you get the big bar and then you get the 2 to 3 candles of follow through that, that continue that momentum, it's always nice to get that kind of price action because it's pretty easy to read. But these little slow bars that just kind of melt up, just like little tiny little moves, those are always a challenge. You don't know if it's like, is it weak? Is it weak, or is it is it just gathering strength, gathering momentum? So we're getting a really slow build, but it's holding its lines, right? So as long as it holds this line, then the bulls are in charge right now. And let's see right here, get back down. Pull that down just a little bit. Try and anchor in on that low right there, that support line. And then I can bring these up to there because I should be able to pay for those with the drop right there. Good. Now let's go look and see how that all worked out. So I took a $2, so about $5 loss, but I made up with it with the rest of those trades, so that was good. Now, who knows where it goes from here? So just kind of need to wait for a second. I'm not real confident in the trade, so I don't have a real reason or any real confidence in building into any size, any type of a good solid position. So I'm waiting for a little bit more confirmation, a little bit more follow through on a directional move. Okay. I gotta sit on my hands because I want to just trade. But I know that if I get in trades here, it could go either direction. It's just not a good place to do anything right now. Just wait for the market to show its hand. Now down here, if we break to the low side, I will start to build a little bit of build a little stronger long position. Maybe not there, that was a bad fill. There should be another little bit of pressure bringing that candle down. Not right. So you kind of expect it right about that 50% line. So when it pushed up a little bit harder, a little bit further, that kind of takes the bear edge away. So closed about the 50% line. Now see if we get turned back down. Not looking good here. Make that turn. See a little bit of bearish candle start to form. And then I'm going to start to build a little bit stronger long position. So just judging by the way that that market is having a hard time getting back down to those lows, I think I'm going to build in a little bit longer, a little bit bigger longs. And I want to keep building all the way up into this. This is a build trade, so just beware that these are not as effective for me as the fade trades, but it's the best opportunity we have right now is to come back up and test that. There we go. Good. I didn't see what we started. I was going to make a note of where we started. Can anybody remember where we were? What our percent daily return was when we started? Does anybody recall? 1.42. 5. 5. Let's go 557, 585, and we'll say about 1.5. All right, coming back up into that turn again. I think I'm going to go ahead and go for it this time, build a little bit stronger position. And come in for the test of the highs. There we go. That was beautiful. Didn't quite get up, and we're fighting those wicks again. So as long as we can hold above the turning point here, I'm going to keep building. I might build for that move to the high side. Don't want that turn. That turn is what's gonna, that turn would kind of take that turn down below that level to kind of takes the opportunity away. 22 seconds left on that candle. I'll trade it for a fade, or I'll fade it for a wick here. Oh, not going to get the wick. Oh, I got the wick. Did you see that? Ooh. Oh, that was awesome. Got the wick. Just in the last second there. Well, now we got the telltale though. But it is early in the candle. A lot of time left on that one. Man, I had written that one off. Now I'm down into that 20 second range. So now we've got the body break. So that's not a good thing. Then I'm going to pull these targets down underneath that wick. And I'm heavy in that trade. So don't want to, now I got to be a little bit careful. A turn back up from here is, we're starting to fight the odds. The odds are not in our favor right now, unless we can get a turn back up above that. Not good. Lower lows are not what we want to see here. Okay, now, shoot. Now I got to get some trades in underneath the. This could be good. And built all through this range. So even though it pulled back, if we can get this turn back in here and get back above that turning point or the low of that wick, so this is going to be a challenge. So getting back above that low and then or above that high or that line and above that line is going to be a trick. But and so what I want to do is I want to kind of get a good stack of trades with profits underneath here, and then this will be like the big win for the day if we can get up into that area. But we do need to see that turn. We need to see that turn forming here any moment. This is the turn here, starting to come up into the turn. Another wick. The pressing lower markets are no fun. 17 seconds left, so good timing. Come on now, right in here. Should see a little bit of another, hopefully a little bit more right here at the end. Good. Excellent. So that was a fantastic move for the trade. And now this is our money maker up here at the top. Now it's a long shot and I'm a little overextended, but that's the money maker right there. It's got to do something that it hasn't done in 20 minutes. Make it sound so dramatic. There we go. Beautiful. Just peel off some of those last trades. Don't want to sit there and watch those run away from you. All right, that's good. Finally got a good trade set up. Now what do we do? Kind of have to wait and see whether this market follows through. So the breakup, just that line just a little bit to right here. Just wanted to see where a short takes us right there. So the fact that it formed a tail on the bottom and holding in the upper range means that it should follow through, but there's been so much selling pressure through this range that I'm not real confident that it's going to follow through. If it does, it'll gain momentum, and I'm going to play the outside of that bullish momentum with the short position. Breaking up is hard to do, Lee. That's what they say. They say it. They say breaking up is hard to do. All right. Let's see. It's a good place for it, for a rebound, for a push higher. Good place for it. If it happens, I don't dare go big in the right here. I don't dare go big on the short, not yet. I want to see it exhaust its move first. And I definitely don't want to go long because I think we took a lot of effort to get up to here and there's no follow through. So I don't want to go, I don't want to build onto the long side, even though that's the more likely direction is that it's going to go up, but I just don't want to build too big in that long direction. In fact, I don't want to build it all in the long direction. I'd rather wait for it to pop, then jump on the short, just given the amount of resistance that we've seen in the market. Let's see if it makes a shot here. Here's another good shot for another good place for an up shot. If I can get a trade on with the lows here, I might take that. There's that move higher. And I'm going to fade that. Don't want to see it. I would have rather on the fade like that in this area, I would have rather seen that come right back down. So the fact that it was holding in that upper range is kind of a little bit nerve-wracking. And then I'm going to put another little stack of trades in here. So I'm going to build up to equal stacks, equal here. And then there is the chance that it makes a break to the high side here. And that would be, then I'll be figuring out how to close out of these positions. Okay, hit the first stack, so that's good. Let's see if it tests those lows again. Test these lows here. My goodness, this is the slow. Welcome to the summer. Should see just a little move down even before a break. So, I mean, obviously anything can come out of anywhere, but it feels like there ought to be a little bit of a push lower right here. And all of these are in like beautiful target spots. So I'm not, I'm not, not worried, not worried at all. It's just slow. But this is as good an opportunity as you'll find in the market. And then, let's see if it rallies here. Don't want to build here because now that it's rested, a break could find momentum. So don't want to build too big here, because it's like it's gone up, it's rested, it's rested, it's rested. So if it finds legs, then it can find the pile-on action, and you're upside down pretty quick in a scenario like this. So this is pretty high risk area to be trading. Artemio, I don't know. The challenge I think that a lot of us have is that we start to like even right here, like what I'm doing right here is I'm adding more and more positions to a really bad area in my trading. And so sometimes we do that over periods of time, like months, right? Where we're just on the wrong side of it. We get discouraged. We're like, I need a win. And so you start doing things that are contrary to, what your techniques are, what your systems are saying and stuff like that. And I think most often when you feel that way, when you get into that feeling, then it's hard to recalibrate. But that's kind of what needs to happen. The market will provide me an opportunity right here to recalibrate if it makes a pop, right? Either direction. But what I'm doing right now is I'm forcing things, even though I don't have the moves to really sustain it, if that makes sense. And so that's part of trading, is that you'll go through waves of that for months and months and months, and then you'll clean it up, right? You'll be in sync with the market again. You'll be recalibrated. What you're doing works again. So I think that even being down like that, just like don't focus so much on forcing yourself to get back to break even or back to where the market is. Don't force yourself into trading things that you don't feel comfortable trading. What you got to do is just get back to the process. We talk about that process so much, and it's such an important piece in such an important way to manage, or such an important thing to have in your trading. So yeah, it's disheartening, and I've been there. Everybody's been there, Artemio. So I just encourage you to keep at it. Try not to force things. Try not to over trade. Try not to make things back up, because that puts you in the wrong frame of mind. Just get back into the flow, get back into the process, get back into, doing things that the way that, there have been times when it works, and there will be times when it works again. And just got to get back into that. So a little bit nerve-wracking right there, as it was like starting to push higher, but that momentum didn't follow through. And so, but we're not dropping back down yet either. So man, Thanos, you are absolutely right. There were some times where it was really rough on the wobbling technique. and just, you know, that no matter what you do, there's going to be a percentage of what you do that will never work. Percentage at the time. All right. A rally up and a break and a pull back down to test the break is not a good thing for this trade. And I just, so right here, we could see a little bit of a COUS pop into the market. So new high there. There is divergence, Bob. You got that on that 5-minute chart. There is a little bit of divergence for sure. But we could see this candle get, we can see it build. We can see this is one of those candles where you can start to watch it just grow. Jeremy, divergence is basically where you get the market, it forms a high. So over here, there's that COUS. So the market forms a high, and then it forms another high. So you get higher highs, but the momentum and the amount of that, how slowly it builds up into those, is there's not as much participation in that second high, and that sets up a divergence trade. If this candles continues to really strengthen, then the divergence trade is off the books. It doesn't work out. So you got to be careful on those divergences that you wait for the turn, not before the turn. It's setting up, the conditions are there for it to be a divergence trade, but it's not quite there yet. And a good way to use that, to identify that, is to use like an indicator like an RSI, because it can kind of show you the relative strength of the move. The RSI is the relative strength of the move. And so that can be a good thing. Now, I really do need that little pullback here, because what I'm going to do, I was at 2.5 and now I'm at 8 point something. That is not what I wanted. Dang. See, these are those slow builds that just, you get the slow build, and then it booms, then it pops. And it's such a tricky, honestly, one of the trickiest types of markets. I'm going to build in pretty heavy right here, looking for just a quick pullback, and I've got a good target placement for that to happen. And I'm now going to be working through some fixes. So I'll now be working into another bullish leg like that is not good. That's the worst thing that could happen right there. All right, I got a lot of fixing to do now. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to try and find my best place for a turn, right? For a turn to form. And then I'm going to try and anchor a whole load of trades in that. Unfortunately, this candle, when this candle followed through, it pulled that turning point up. So now it has a chance to even move higher, and the turn will start to form clear down here. So So what I'm trying to do is get a stack of trades inside the turning point. And we may be seeing some breakage on that daily chart. So let's go look at, can someone look on that daily chart and see if we're getting that turn that we've been looking for? Not yet. Okay. So looking for the wobble to maybe try and get some wobbles as we move into some consolidation. Consolidation puts the market into a sideways move with the turning point being the low point. I would just keep it running. Dang it. So again, I've still, it keeps pulling those turning points up and not moving into sideways consolidation. So I'm just fighting. I'm fighting that break. And this is what makes the summer months so difficult. Is because you'll get nothing and then you get these just crazy runs with zero turns, zero resistance, and then it'll die. It'll just die. This is not, it's not a measured move on the 5 minute chart, not that I can see anyway. There we go. That helps a turn. So unfortunately, I got to get, like, the majority of my trades are like here and up. So I literally have to have almost a 50% retracement to get this. So I'm not going to get that. So I need to look at ways of now pulling off these trades. And there was a huge run out of nowhere. That's what. Huge risk of continuing right here. So I'm now instead of being able to fix this inside a consolidation, I'm going to have to get either several bounces inside a consolidation or a major turn. None of those look real encouraging right now. Okay, this is the moment of truth right here. If this breaks to the upside, we'll probably be approaching stops for the second time in 2 weeks. Yeesh. Okay, come on. Got divergence again now on the 1 minute chart. So that could help. So even if I can get back into, if we can make this turn and I can get back to here, then we're going to be okay on this trade or on the day. But I really need that turn. I need that market to make the turn and have a little bit of follow through to the downside. Which, who knows on a day like today, what that's going to work out. Normal market conditions, I'd say not a problem. But where we have so little volume in the market and that it might be a difficult challenge here. Don't move up here. Cannot get a break here. It's not going to do us well. This is honestly, this is a dangerous, it's a dangerous predicament because I'm really at risk of right now of that thing breaking to the upside. In fact, there's a super good chance that it will. And this candle, if this candle closes on a high, it might be over. God, it's holding in that upper range. Oh. Don't do it, market. Don't. It's doing it. Dang it. It's just not enough volatility to pull this one off. Yeah, there goes the trades. So now what I've got to do, I mean, we should still see a pullback at some point, but I'm just worried that there's not enough volatility, not enough resistance. You know, the counter trading that we depend on in normal market conditions are not here right now, and so I'm going to be fighting this. It'll establish now it'll tend to establish a really strong support level right in here. So even if we get pullbacks, all of this is going to be very difficult to hit at this point. And so I'm going to need to like start to figure out how to start to pull these trades off the books. Because at this point, the probability of dropping back down below that line, which is what I need in order to like get back to sit to save the trade, that's going to be really difficult. Unless it just keeps running. Oh, we've had a huge rebound in the stock market, haven't we? Let's see here. Yeah, this is so when I get in this situation, it's really difficult. Because I've got about half of my position, or probably 3/4 of my positions are underneath what will most likely be the hardest part of a retracement to get through. So we haven't even gotten into retracement phase yet. We haven't even like begun to do a retracement. But and who knows, the challenge is who knows when that's going to happen. This is what you look for. This is one of the things that you look for in like sort of the topping pattern, you know, that little whippy last type of thrust. But I was thinking that was probably back over here, to be honest with you. It was as I was watching how these candles formed, it's like, oh, there's that big pop candle. And so I started layering in a bunch of trades, anticipating that little pullback, but it never really materialized. Still a lot of wicks on the top side of this candle. I'm gonna take a couple of these trades off again. And then really I got to start to there we go. That's good. See, some follow through would be good. And I'm just going to take the painful trades here. So once I get up above, once I get up into that 20, 30, 20 pip loss section, it's nearly impossible because to get there, you're probably finding a momentum move. See if we get a little drop here. Good place for another drop lower. In which case I'm going to start to clear out trades as much as I can down in these lower areas. I'm just kind of waiting for every pip that it drops helps immensely with the loss side. The hardest part about the session is just the lack of movement, the lack of volume, the lack of volatility. It's just slow grinding, and then it got into that big rally out of nowhere. That's what makes the summer so tough. Target's going to come in down here, start to replace shorts with longs. This is a little bit lower here. Nice. I want to grab those now. Mark. Let's grab those, that last little stack, and I'm building into my long positions right now. Oh. Long stack started taking a little bit of profit, and I should be left with, right now it should be about 50-50 on the short and long stack. There we go. That's good. So now the key to the short stack here is I've got us now wobble out. Now right here, we run a huge risk of that rallying back up. So so I gotta be careful about building too big. I built heavy on the long stack, but I gotta be really careful about building the short stack right here because it could run again. So it's like you're trying to like prevent yourself now from getting caught in those runs because that can just destroy what you have, what you just got. You just worked your tail off trying to recover quite a bit, and that could all disappear right here if this market starts to run. So the wobble right here is really important to the success of this, the ultimate success of this trade, if it's going to work out. Again, such a small probability, of getting down to this stack down here. But if we can get this turn here, that's a very real possibility at this point. And then you got to find where the next low is going to come in. Now, the obvious point is clear down here, but that's the market's not going to get down there on a day like today. So we got to find, is it here or is it here? And I think this is probably a realistic target. So our stack is all in a good position for another leg lowers. And if this target stack was down here, I wouldn't feel very good about it. But where it is right now, I feel pretty decent about it. Just break this little, that would be just fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and start to build along slowly at first. I want those targets underneath that last pivot. Come on now. Now, does it build momentum to the downside? It's all good if it does. Starting to build that long stack in. Didn't drop quite low enough to grab the full short stack. Come on now. So we'll be looking, hopefully we get that last little push down, test those lows right there, and then we can get a little pop off that. So that's what I'm hoping anyway. It's threading a needle. Right, yeah, it's threading it right there. There we go. Now hold that line. Hold that line. It's not holding the line. 13 seconds left on that candle. It's doing it at the right time. It's breaking it at the right time. Oh, there we go. Phew. Keep going, keep going. Hold that line. Now give us a turn. A turn and 2 to 3 candles of follow through. Hopefully it gets us back to close to break even. There's the turn. Buyers have to be tired. I think it's the sellers that got beat up. Sellers are the ones that are tired today. Buyers, they don't, they get to move and then rest and then move and then rest and then move. Well, so that's recovery. Now we're down on the day, but I think we'll probably wrap it up for the session. I'm going to just I'll continue to trade throughout the day so that I don't have a negative day. And I think we got Josh, man, congratulations for not hitting 5%. That's a huge success. Okay, so let's just talk about through the situation here. It's just that I was explaining my concern long before the move happened, but my concern is it's just the slow market in here, and this is something I got to start to adjust for myself. I've got to start to adjust for the summer months, because we're going to get more and more of this behavior over the next 2 months. But you get these slow moving markets where you're thinking there is nothing happening. You're pushing trades because you've got 15 minutes of just sitting there without a good setup happening. And so you start to push trades, you start to do things as you wouldn't normally do, you start to make decisions you wouldn't normally make. You start envisioning things that aren't, outcomes that aren't necessarily real. You start losing focus on the nuances that really like give you those little clues in the market. And then you get the builds, the big movements. And the only reason that happens in the summer months is because there's not the competition. You don't have the tug of war, the checks and balances as well as good as you have it during high volume, high participation markets. And so you tend to get those slow grinding moves, and then directional, just pure directional moves. And so something has to like start to switch inside your brain, and you really have to sit on your hands and not get into positions, not overread what you're seeing, and then start to and then just be careful of how when you get those runs. So my big mistake is like misreading this candle right here. Really, it was really this candle, and then I really built in on that second candle, anticipating a little bit of a pullback after, so here you got two candles, here you get two candles. I was anticipating that pullback to come in right in that second or third candle, and so I built way too heavy in there, anticipating that little pullback. That was my mistake in the session. It's the same mistake that I had last Thursday, and so I gotta be a little bit more chillaxed when those times come. So like I said, I'm going to keep trading throughout the day, because I don't want to take I won't take a negative on the day. I'll make sure that I keep trading until I get that back into the positive return. I've got about $1,000 to make to get back to where, a little bit more than $1,000, maybe $2,000 to make to get back into the to where I need it to be for the day. But for the recovery process, I think we called the recovery about as good as we possibly could, and thank goodness that held, because I was in that last little move, that last little bump up was sort of the that could have taken the edge off, all the edge off of the trading day and put me back into a real easy mode. Or it could have broken down here, in which case I would have been in an equally tough position as I was 15 minutes prior to that. So okay, traders, we'll give everybody 10,000 street cred. So for being here today, and wish you the best of success in the trading session or in your trading. And then we'll see you tomorrow for the trading room. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you. Bye.